Hey traders, Tyler here with another watch list update for you. Today I had some issues in my apartment with power, so I unfortunately wasn't able to watch the market most of the day. I did see SPY had a pretty green day. It looked like the market was generally pretty green. Um, but I unfortunately didn't get to take any of my plays from yesterday because my power was down for the early-ish part of the day where most of my alerts were getting hit. So yeah, I wasn't able to take advantage of any of the cool stuff we found yesterday. But jump into the stuff I found today and see what we're going to be watching tomorrow. So first up, we have AFRM. Firm's been pretty green. Had like this kind of pretty mellow almost year here, and now it's kind of been starting to pop back up in the last month or so. So we're going to look to continue that. We did have kind of this shooting star Wednesday. Today we had a nice big green bar after a gap down to open. So we're going to look to see if we can continue this upward pressure and kind of push back up to this 41 high. Look to grab around 39.78 area to get in. Next up, we have got Academy Sports. Academy Sports has been a little choppy lately. Honestly, kind of downward trending, but if we look, it looks like it's kind of trying to break out of the trend that was happening here. Looks like we got a trend like that. We're kind of starting to break up above that on the month at least. As you can see on the week as well. So yeah, we had this nice big pop up here after earnings, kind of a little chop the last couple of days. We're going to see if we can continue to kind of try to push for some new highs. We'll look to get in around 55.66 and try to take profit here on this high from yesterday. So maybe a 70-80 cent gain here, 56.40 area. Next up, we've got Boeing. Boeing has been green the last month or so. Again, like some of the other ones we've been looking at, kind of quite a bit of chop up and down in this kind of area here. It has been kind of relatively stable with this kind of consolidation early in the year, and then it kind of been doing a little broadening formation since then. So we're going to look to see if we can kind of continue this broadening up and see if we can kind of follow this green trend up. We do have green across the board. So we'll look to take this breakout at 238.25 and then maybe try to take profit here around 239.40. So maybe $1.20 of profit there. Next up, we've got Bank of America. Bank of America has been trending down. It does give me a little hesitation to be bullish on it. Mostly green around the board. We do have the red year, as I was just pointing out. It has been kind of down over the last couple years, actually. But if we look at this recent trend from the last couple weeks, it has been moving up with some pullbacks. It looks like we could be in the middle of another one of those pullbacks, although we did have this shooting star, which does make me nervous. That after this consolidation today, we might see the breakout back down, especially since it was kind of a weaker bullish push today. But if we are able to kind of push back up, I might look to jump in on the bull side around 30.89, 31-ish, and then see if we can reclaim this 31.50 high. But honestly, unless this is looking really strong tomorrow, I'll probably stay away just because I feel like this actually has more downside in it before it goes back up. It's kind of where I think this one will end up for the day, week, potentially month, more of a downward push. Next up, we've got Citigroup. Citigroup has been, again, kind of trending down over the last 3 years or so. It is green on the year, quarter, month, so it is green over recent trends. I mean, really, the month opened fairly close to where it's at now, or the year, sorry, opened fairly close to where it's at now, 45.75, and we're at 48. So it is kind of popping up. Similar to, I think it was Boeing, it is kind of, or Academy maybe, it is kind of breaking out of this downward trend that I see here. If we look here, we've got kind of this trend line, and we are kind of starting to break above that. So if this could be the breakout, that would be nice. Again, green across the board, so we are getting some good bullish signs here, good bullish trends. So I might look to see if I can get in this 48.75-ish mark, and then take some profit around early 49s. Again, it's only a 40 cent profit. And with the downward trend, I'm not super hyped about this one. I'll probably not play this, but if we have a nice strong push, big candle like this, maybe I'll see if I can hop in if it's got some momentum. Next up, we've got CHWY. CHWY has got, it was on like a really strong downward trend, then it kind of consolidated, and now it's kind of breaking out of that consolidation to even more downside, which does give me hesitation to be bullish on it. The recent trends are bullish and green, but it is a far, far way away from where it opened on the year. So from a year perspective, it is down quite big, which does make me quite hesitant to hop in. Today after earnings, it had this huge gap down to open the day. It did recover very, very nicely though. And if it looks like we're going to continue to get some bullish pressure, I might try to hop in and see if we can push to a new like weekly high or new high, like to go back and hit this high from late in November essentially. Try to see if we can work back up through some of these recent highs, but overall, I think this trend is negative, is bearish, and I am hesitant to hop in on this one. Next up, we've got corn, and the corn ETF is again kind of pretty bearish at the moment, at least from the yearly perspective. 27, we're down to 22. And this one's only got about 30 cents a day ATR, so it doesn't really pop back up very quick. So I don't see it getting close to the yearly flip anytime soon. And in general, it does look like it's trending down. We do have this little recent momentum up and little broadening formation with some consolidation today. But man, this trend is so green. It is kind of setting up into like a little flag type pattern. Maybe we'll see breakout, but I don't think it's here yet. But I'll keep an eye on it. And like some of these other ones I've talked about, if we can get some strong bullish pressure tomorrow, kind of break through this 22, 21, 25 level, maybe I'll see if I can catch 10, 15 cents up to this high from yesterday. It looks like we bounced off this kind of 22.40 area a couple times. So I'll look to maybe see if I can grab 10, 12 cents, but this just doesn't seem like the reward is very great, and also just doesn't seem like the trend is in our favor, so I'll probably stay away from this one. Next up, we've got CrowdStrike. Sorry. CrowdStrike has been kind of had like really good 2021, and then kind of a strong pullback towards the end of 21, and it's kind of been pulling back through 22, and now 23 it's been trying to push back up. We're kind of getting close to this all-time high. Green trends kind of across the board. We had this strong kind of downward channel here for all of 22, and now we've been in this nice green channel the last year or so. So we'll look to see if we can continue pushing forward, pushing up, try to grab in around the 240.70-ish mark, and then look to grab $3 or $4 profit as we come back up to this recent high from yesterday. And then maybe leave a couple runners to see if we can continue making new highs. Next up, we've got Discover Financial Services, and this guy has been very choppy the last 3 years or so, but it does seem like it's mostly trending down. We did kind of pop up and make a new high here, only to very quickly push back down. Looks like we're trying to make another move up here, and surprisingly we are green all across the board. But looking at the charts, I'm not super confident in the green trend, which does give me slight hesitation. But we're pretty far off kind of the all-time high. We have this nice big $3 move we can make here. So if we do kind of keep this bull pressure going into Friday, I'll probably hop in and look to see if I can scalp $1 or $2 of profit, maybe leave a runner to see if we can get back up to the 105 area, make a little money off Discover. Next up, we've got Home Depot. Home Depot, like Discover, has been very choppy the last 2 years or so. It is over the last couple months been fairly green, green on the year, quarter, month. So it is trending in the right direction. But like as you can see here, man, it's just been chopping between these kind of two levels, kind of actually consolidating rather than broadening. So I don't know that that's over yet, which gives me hesitation. But we can try to look for this 327.30 level, 36 level. We got 328, 328.31 is the previous day high. So we can maybe scalp $1 out of Home Depot. Maybe leave a runner to see if it does want to try to get up and touch one of these recent highs from, I don't know, a couple months ago. But again, not very confident just due to all this chop. So I won't be in this one long if I do try to play it. Next up, we've got the Russell, and the Russell, like Home Depot, has been very, very choppy. It is starting to look like it broadening a little bit, so hopefully that's a good sign for this bullish side, and we can get up to break this kind of 199-200 level that it's kind of been stuck under for the last almost 2 years. We've got a nice little setup here with this broadening day yesterday. Small 2 down today with a nice big strong green candle. So if the bulls can keep the pressure up going into Friday, we'll look to reclaim most of this red bar, pull maybe 250 and profit out of this one. Next up, we've got JP Morgan Chase. JP Morgan Chase has been on an upward trend for the last year or so. Did have this kind of little V shape as we've been seeing in quite a few stocks where 20, 21, 22 were kind of down years. And then towards the end of 22 up through now has been trending in the bullish direction. We do have green across the board, so it is kind of giving strong signals to go in. We have this nice broadening ending on kind of the downward leg on Wednesday with some consolidation today. A nice tight doji-ish candle. So we'll look for the breakout of this. I want to look bullish, obviously, because the trend is green. So we'll look to see if we can continue the bullish pressure here, break through this 157.25 level, and then maybe try to reclaim the $2 to get back up to 159.28. But we'll keep an eye on that tomorrow. Next up, we've got Marathon Digital. Marathon Digital has been very choppy over the last 2 years, but it is green across the board. We had $4 start to the year, $9 start to the quarter, $12 start to the month, and we're 25% above the month, 50% above the quarter, 300% above the year. Like, we're very strongly green trending for this recent kind of year period. So I definitely like this one for this recent trend up, and we got a long way to go to the all-time high. I don't know that we'll ever get even close to back to there, but I do think we could definitely see a breakout of this 1560 level and maybe push back up into the 16s. Maybe leave a couple runners to see if we can kind of break this and get to some recent highs. We can maybe push back to this high of like 20-ish from about a month or so ago. But yeah, we'll keep an eye on Marathon Holdings or Marathon Digital to see what they do. Next up, we've got MicroStrategy. And MicroStrategy had this kind of chop through the end of 22, beginning of 23. Had a little pop-up pullback, and now it's starting to press higher and higher. 3 strong green candles here over the last couple months, including this month. And as you can see here, yeah, nice green kind of pressure. It does have quite a few red candles where it has some choppy-ish days, it looks like, kind of back and forth. So we did have this kind of consolidation yesterday, gap down to open today with a strong green bar to kind of close out the day, and then we're going to look tomorrow to see if we can continue this bullish pressure, break over this 578-ish mark, and then kind of push our way back up to 589, 590 area and see if we can get back into there. Next, we've got ServiceNow. ServiceNow had this kind of, I don't know, I want to almost call it like the famous 2022 V pattern where 2022 was just a red year all the way down. and now 23 has been primarily green, pushing back up. 395, so I mean, up huge on the year, up fairly big on the quarter. Only up a couple dollars on the month, but since we're only a week in, it's to be expected. Up on the week as well, just all around very green, very good. This, as you can see here, is looking really strong. Pressure up, so we'll look to see if we can hop in on this 689-ish area as the bulls push back up off this hammer, and then we'll see if we can reclaim the $5 or $6 to get back up to this high from yesterday. Next up, we've got NVDA. And NVIDIA has been, I mean, really green, had in 2022, that similar kind of pullback that we've been seeing. But 2023 has been very strong. Did have this really big pullback in September, another little one in October. November was strong. December so far has been kind of very consolidating, if you will, very consolidation heavy. These kind of 5 candles here. So we're going to look to see if we can kind of break out of this consolidation, push above this mark from today, which 466.20-ish, just shy of the high, and maybe push up to this high from yesterday of 474. And if we're lucky, leave a couple runners to maybe re-break this all-time high of 505. I think NVIDIA does have some momentum left, even though I do think it is a little bit overbought, but it seems like the people are loving it, so see if we can hop in on this big pullback and see if we can catch the next move up. Next up, we've got Open Door Technologies. Open Door has been very choppy again through this 2023 year. 2022 was quite a drawdown year, and then it's kind of just hasn't really found its footing in 23. Kind of had a little up, a little down, trying to see if we can make our way back up here. We are green on the year, quarter, and month, 350. So I mean, we're up 3 times on the year, so it's definitely trending in the right direction. Worth taking a look at. I'm going to look at this 350 level. If we can break through this high from today of 357, I mean, it's 10 cents to the yesterday's high, but we could look to hit one of these highs from a few weeks ago, and that would be 417. I mean, still not a lot of money to be made here, but it's a low price stock, so you can hop in on a lot, not risk too much, and maybe catch one of these moves up. Next up, we've got Snap. Snap has been very green. It did have this red shooting star candle, and a lot of chop over the last a year and a half or so. But it is starting to trend green, 915 year, 887 quarter, so it's definitely well above those, trending in the right direction. And I mean, a lot of room to get to these previous highs, all-time highs, tons of room, obviously. So I do think after this kind of shooting star, hammer, back-to-back days, I could see this looking good for a strong push up. And if the bulls can keep the pressure going, I'll try to hop in around 1485, and then maybe grab 50 cents up to this recent high, and maybe leave a runner or two to see if we can kind of keep pushing green. Next up, we've got Snowflake. Snowflake has been pretty choppy over the last year and a half as well. It is really strong green November, and we're green for now on the month. It is 185, so we're pretty close to flipping back the other way. As a matter of fact, we were red earlier today. And it is just, man, it's been very choppy. So this one, again, gives me hesitations. Kind of been consolidating the last couple days. I almost kind of want to, I would rather see this stay small, kind of consolidate. I'll probably hold off tomorrow and grab in this one. And then I'll probably look next week to see if this week can stay consolidation. I'll look to see if we can take a break out of the weekly consolidation. I'd much rather take that play. I feel like it would be a lot stronger than this kind of chop we've been going through this week. So we'll keep an eye on that over the next day and weekend. Next up, we've got Spotify. Spotify had a huge jump up on, I don't know if it's from Spotify Wrapped or from the Spotify layoffs, freeing up quite a bit of cash flow, but it did have this huge gap up to begin the week, and since then it's kind of chopped around this level up here. I do think that, it is trending green across the board. I do think that if we get some good green pressure here, we could potentially get back up to this high from yesterday, or at least break around the 200 level. So I'll look to see if I can grab maybe $5 of profit tomorrow. I'll leave a runner or two and see if we can grab some extra profit. But this one looks, I think, very good to me. My only concern is obviously this gap and it may be having a little pullback to fill in that gap. But it seems like it's been strong lately, so I'd be happy to jump in on the bullish side if the opportunity presents itself. Next up, we've got AT&T. They've been definitely trending down, as you can tell, over the last 3 or 4 years. The year's red, 1851, 17. We're about $1.50 into the year flip. We're still quite a bit green on the quarter, and even the month is pretty strongly green. But with this gap up, we're kind of hanging in this kind of top little area, about 50 cents up from where we were. Hopped up quite a bit off the 200 moving average, and then had a consolidation day to day. This one is another tough one. Like, if I see a lot of pressure, bullish pressure tomorrow, I may hop in and see if we can claim this 20-30 cents, but it's honestly just not enough reward for kind of how trendy this one has been in the bearish direction. I just don't know how much gas it has to make a move up, and I will probably stay away from this, but I'll keep an eye on it just in case it does end up looking kind of good. Next up, we've got Transmedics Group, and the Transmedics Group has had a lot of chop over the last week or so. Strong year 2022, which is very different from most stocks that we have been looking at. And then 23 kind of carried up that green momentum, and then it's actually had a bit of a crash over the second half of 23. And now it's not trying to, over the last month or so, it's been reclaiming that drawdown and kind of working its way back up. It is, green on the year, green on the quarter, month, so it is kind of trending in the right direction. Again, like I think it was Snowflake. If we're able to keep this one consolidation bar for the week, I'd much rather get in breaking out of this consolidation and trying to reclaim kind of some of these highs from a couple months ago. But we could look to scalp, I don't know, maybe, 75.25 up to 75.85, 50, 60 cents here. I just feel like we're going to get chopped up here, so I'll probably hold off tomorrow, and then, like I said, look to see if I can find a good play breaking out of this consolidation next week. Next up, we've got Tesla. And Tesla's known to be very kind of choppy. It makes a lot of big moves, and last 2 weeks or so has just been like very choppy, kind of broadened a little bit, and now it's kind of consolidating back in. You can kind of see the similar kind of up and downs. It is red on the quarter, green on the year, very strongly green on the year, but it is red on the quarter, and it is it does look like it is kind of trending down, so it does give me hesitation to hop in on this one. But Tesla's always good for a couple point pop here and there, so if we can get some good green movement opening up early tomorrow morning, maybe I'll hop in around this 244 level, see if we can claim $1 or $2 profit up to 246-ish throughout the day. Next up, we've got Twilio. Twilio has been very choppy for the last year and a half, like a lot of these stocks. It is starting to see some green bullish movement. It's green on the year, quarter, month. As you can see, these recent couple weeks have been very green. We did have not really a shooting star, but a little like red kind of topper candle, green hammer, and now we're going to look to see if we can take a breakout of this 68.88, pop up and retake this 69.70, maybe get $1 out of Twilio if possible. And last but not least, we've got Upstart. Upstart is has been very choppy, as a lot of these stocks we've looked at are. Had this kind of strong move up in the middle of the year, kind of strong pullback the following month, and now it's again just trying to kind of push back up, get that pressure going again. It's been all over the place, so I am hesitant to hop in on this one. I'll keep an eye on this 34.75-ish mark. If it kind of breaks through here, maybe I'll see if I can get a runner-up, reclaim some of this territory. I don't know that I'll hold all the way up to 37, but maybe look for 36 as a good take-profit level. But this one will probably be on the back burner for me as well. So these are the stocks I'll be looking at going into tomorrow, Friday. See if we can end the week strong on any of these plays, get some bullish pressure to close out the week. But let me know what you'll be looking at in the comments. Feel free to drop a like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Otherwise, I will talk to you on Sunday.